Yeah, hello, my people. How are you doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you're watching me from. Remember, this is Chinedu Anichi TV, your one and only celebrity CSO, and the African voice in diaspora. Right away, we are streaming live from St. Louis, United States of America. And today, as we have always done, we have one of our illustrious sons, a youth leader, a youth leader of sorts, a scandal-free youth leader that has served Nigerian students in different capacities and have also served in different government sectors as far as Nigeria is concerned. So today we'll be having in our place, and also as luck will have it, today we're having him. We don't do really political things, but we cannot say we cannot have him because he's contesting for the office of the Senior President of National Association of Nigerian Students. So today we'll be having an aspirant for the Senior President, the office of the Senior President, National Association of Nigerian Students. So today we'll be having Comrade Zakari Hashim CNS. Comrade will be here live and direct. And please, for those of you watching on Instagram, those of you watching on YouTube, those who are watching on Facebook, please share this live video and listen to this very, very, very resourceful Nigerian youth. Very resourceful. You people will listen to him today. You judge by yourself, and you know that we're live already. We're live. Please join. We're live. So we are having Comrade Zakari today, and I want to use this privilege to bring him up to the show. Comrade, how are you? Comrade, how are you?
Good evening. I'm fine. Good evening by my time here.
Yeah. How are you doing?
And greetings to the entire Chinedu Anichi family.
Yeah. This is 11 a.m. in Central American time, and I know it's 6 p.m. Nigeria. So it's good evening. Yeah. So have you shared this in your Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay. So we can go on now. So thank you for coming to your welcome to Chinedu Anichi TV. This is not your first time. When we were still starting, we were using Facebook and all this. You were part of us, so we cannot forget.
Of course.
We started with, even when people never believed in us, you were there. You were there. So I appreciate, and you see, you're coming back today, and it's better. The whole city is better. You just had a link from your WhatsApp and you joined the studio. So not that time that we used to say, Facebook is not this is. So we thank God for today, and you're back again. This place is your home because you were part of
course.
Yeah. So thank you for coming. Please, for protocol's sake,
thank you.
Zakari, please introduce yourself to our very timid audience.
Good evening once more. I still remain my humble self, Comrade Zakari Hashim, a former SUG president, former coordinator of the National Association of Nigerian Students, Zone A, comprising of 10 states, and now an aspirant for the position of the Senate President, NANS.
Wow. Yeah, Comrade Hashim, thank you. Before you go into what we are here for today, I want to ask you, how do you feel being here today? So what runs in your mind?
Well, first of all, I am very impressed with the rapid transformation that has taken place, and I see the new technologies in place, and it really tells me this platform is actually competing with other global media outlets. So I am glad. I'm very, very glad with the live stream and everything. the smart technology is really embracing. So I salute every team members that are putting effort, most especially our boss, for this effort and growth we have recorded. I'm really proud of the family.
Wow, thank you, comrade. Comrade, we are here today, and some other time, anytime that I have a guest, there's always please, there's a background
Come
noise
again,
coming.
sorry.
I think there's a background noise from there.
Okay, no problem. Go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, I know what I'll be doing. When I'll be talking, I'll mute you. Okay, so what I'm saying is that whenever we have a guest here, for people to learn from whoever has a glory, there's always a story. So, in a very brief form, can you tell us, like the other day, we had Daddy Shoki here. He said he was picking iron from the dustbin before God blessed him and took him to where he is today. If you touch Osime, I have not been in this interview, but I have seen where they asked him. He said he was hawking pure water in Lagos. That today is one of the greatest Nigerian strikers in the world. So the other day I was with Nadozi Chiamaka, the goalkeeper of Falcons and Paris FC a few days ago. He told us how he hawked a lot of things for the more plantain and all those kind of things. But today she is where. Can you share any kind of experience of your beginning before you came up now to be Comrade Zakari Hashim?
Thank you very much. One of those great experience I want to share today is that leadership is, is something I have a passion for. During my undergraduate days in school, and I embrace the trend of student leadership for it to be a ground for me to, before moving into the circular level of the politics. And I started from the foundation. When I mean from the foundation, even from the secondary school, I was already at the position of leadership as a former labor prefect, where it gives me responsibilities to cater for order of my subordinates. And going into higher institutions, my first contest in school was I contested for the vice president, National Association of Kaduna State Students, and I won that very election. That was my first victory. And the second, after my performance as the vice president, I did well, and I felt there is need for me to sustain what I have achieved as the vice president. I move on to the top position of the association, that's CASU, Kaduna State Student Union. And I contested for the president. Unfortunately, I was not lucky enough to make the top position. I was defeated at that contest. So a lot of my people, a lot of my supporters, seeing the style of the voice, those things people used to call me is the voice you can trust. That was my slogan those days, the voice you can trust. So seeing the popular candidate being defeated, people rally support for me that it is not going to be the end of me. Let me move to a higher fit to contest for the student union government election. And I adhered to the calls of my people, my supporters. I moved straight to the contest to contest a higher position. But a lot of people felt if I was defeated at just the state association, what motivated me to go to the national? So, but the massive support, the overwhelming support I enjoyed from my supporters actually gave me the mandate. And I went straight to the contest. I followed every process of the contest, and I emerged victorious as one of the historic SUG presidents duly elected. And at that moment was I break the limits, which some people felt it was not possible because being defeated at a lesser union and going forward to a larger society, it was a different experience. But I thank God. And that was the genesis of everything. That position actually placed me, I assume myself as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria because I was leading over 11,000 students, more than 11,000 students as at then. So the calls, the challenges, and everything coupled with my academic was challenging, but it was the genesis and revolution of leadership. And from there, I get to see leadership is truly built. Nobody was born a leader, but you work for it to attain to be called a leader. And from there, I attend a lot of leadership training courses that expand my scope and horizon. And I pick interest, and I see leadership as my own part of career since then.
Wow, that's great. That's great. That's great. Wow, that's great. So now, because we need to bring in what is in vogue, which is you are aspiring to be senior president of National Association of Nigerian Students. Is a great platform. And
Yes.
what if I may ask, what is it that inspires you into this, or what's the propelling force that makes you think that if you get this mandate, it is a fulfillment of your career?
Well, just like I earlier introduced, bringing my wealth of experience in student unionism and having been at the forefront of a lot of student agitation in this country, I have been a voice to a lot of students who don't have voice. And considering my passion for leadership, my wealth of experience as a coordinator, that I have reinstilled students that have already lost hope in going to school. I reinstate them back and give them future. Some of those people I told you today, they are sad. I brought them back at the verge when they have lost hope, being an important asset to this country. But I went back to the institutions to negotiate them back. I can tell you some of them are Federal Republic of Nigeria. And also in the current state of economic, where many students have lost a voice, many students have found it difficult to write with their mates in school. Having the heart of school children is growing in population, and it is becoming a national threat to this country. So I felt I still need, people still need to hear the cry and plead of Nigerian students to foster educational growth and development, and most importantly, for addressing some of challenges that has been the benchmark depriving Nigerian students from accessing quality and qualitative education. So I felt I have an experience, I have the capacity, I can speak to the government in the tune that the government will understand better. And I think Nigerian students will give me the voice to speak on behalf of them. So this is one of the very great reason that is pushing me for this aspiration.
Okay, that's good. I hope that Nigerian students will give you the voice, because the way you're sounding and your wealth of experience, I just pray that Nigerian factor will not come into overwhelm it, because what we're afraid of is just the Nigerian factor. So it's not about experience, it's not about, because sometimes for qualitative representation, we know the best candidates, but sometimes in Nigeria, when the factor, you know what I mean by Nigerian factor, comes in, sometimes the best are not elected. So, but we hope that you will clinch the mandate of Nigerian students as Senate President and be able to do what you might say. So, if you look at Nigeria, you will see that there is inadequate funding and poor infrastructure when it comes to students, especially in our universities and higher institutions. So, if eventually God allows this to come to place, how do you think you will interact with students, with the government, to be able to, manage this situation and see how they can, restore the glory, the dignity of our Nigerian universities?
Well, thank you very much for this question. I felt, and I'm very quite sure I know the challenges each and every institution in this country face. Because for me to contest for this position, it is a must. I must go around all the campuses in Nigeria, at least 65% of those campuses, to campaign. And at the process of that campaigning, I have started to detect the problems that are facing our educational sector. One is electricity. From the campus I have visited, I can tell you that learning is not taking place. Research is not taking place, because how do you expect to work on research where you don't have at least 20 hours minimum supply of electricity? I can bet you none of these institutions in Nigeria can bet of 20 hours electricity in Nigeria. No institution, even the best institution in Nigeria cannot beat its chest of 20 hours power supply. This is a big threat to education in Nigeria, because without power supply, nothing. Our laboratories cannot function. Students cannot gain the required experience for practicals. Students cannot have the conducive environment to make research and strengthen their bonds of knowledge. Even the lecturers cannot expand their horizon. So this deficit of electricity is posing a very big challenge to the growth of education in Nigeria. And as I'm telling you, this is one of the factors I have identified. Two is the security architecture of our campuses. Many institutions now are learning in fear. They are learning from neither being kidnapped by bandits or this terrorist group. That is to say, our institution, our campuses are becoming a threat. Students are not safe even while on campus, and there is nowhere a student is supposed to have a peace of mind rather than while that student is in campus. Because if you don't have a peace of mind, there's no way you can learn properly. It will disrupt that process of learning. So this is a very, very, very big challenge. Even from the local security, I have been to institutions where government cannot fund, cannot pay their local security. Talk more, maybe tackling external factors. This is really been a threat to our educational sector. And if I am being elected in this position, to give me a voice to voice some of these things I have seen during the process of my and visitation to some of these campuses. And I want to say, I have the experience of how our tertiary education operates, even better than the minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria or the Minister of Education. And my reasons for saying so is that I'm just telling you the number of institutions I need to visit for me to make this big. And I am telling you, if the Minister of Education can take his time to visit these institutions physically present in some of those institutions to see what are the problems. Believe me, you Nigeria, it wouldn't take 24 hours to address the problem. But it is because those people at the helm of affairs do not even know what the institution need, do not even know what's the problem of the campuses. And that is why we keep on dwelling in lack of educational facilities or providing technical education to Nigerians. So I felt the people at the helm of affairs still lack experience. Some of them, since after their graduation, maybe from graduate to their postgraduate, have never visited their institution to see the progress or backwardness the institution has recorded. But I'm telling you, I have been in and out of not less than 45 institutions now, and I can mention in names and their problems, challenges they face in those various campuses.
Okay, that's a great one. You have practically observed. Okay, let me come out. You have practically observed by yourself what the problems are like.
Let me start that.
And what they are like, and it's okay, but from your own judgment as an Aluta voice, we know Aluta voice to be people who speak fearlessly. That's what we used to know NANS to be. Okay, the condition of NANS now that sometimes the elected ones becomes a stooge to the government. All they know is meet government, negotiate with them, enrich themselves, and those things that Nigerian students are agitating for will not even be attended to. So, as you have been a voice from scratch till now, so what is the assurance you are giving us? Like you are not going to behave like some other announced presidents who the announced president are not even talking about the condition of Nigerian students. All they do is meet the president or meet these people and they give them money. So what is your assurance? What are you assuring our people and Nigerian students that you are not going to be like those people? Because that's the problem. Oh my God.
From my peak, just like what I'm saying, from my peak of student unionism, one of the slogans drive my campaign all through this process I have earlier mentioned was the slogan that the voice you can trust. I still want to tell Nigerian students, I still merit that slogan till today. I still remain that same voice you can trust. So just like you said, negotiation, for every developed countries, there must be dialogue for the country to move forward. Sometimes it is not all about confrontations. In NANS, there are operands of operations. We have consultation, and we have confrontation. 3 C's. You consult, you confrontation, you consolidate, and before you confront. So I will make sure I look into these 3 C's very well to see how I reflect on those 3 C's. Negotiation has never been a crime anywhere in the world, but depending on what are the operands of negotiation. Okay, you want us to give us our vote and you give us better education. It is achievable everywhere. You want us to give you cooperation and you give us better security. You want us to give you this and you give us this. It is negotiation is a global terms that is accepted globally, and ours shouldn't be. But we are not going to negotiate for our personal interests. We will negotiate for that decision that will better the generation of Nigerians to come. That will benefit.
All right, thank you. I just learned something big from you now about the 3 C's. About the 3 C's. That's consultation first, um,
Yeah.
confrontation, and
Consolidation before confrontation.
yes. So you have to consolidate. Then when the ground is
Yeah.
untenable, you can go for confrontation. But that is
Then
only
you can go for confrontation.
that's when consultation and other very very morally bound
They
diplomatic
don't get the fruitful results.
must have been exhausted. So,
Yeah.
but we know NAS is not anti-government. Some people used to think that maybe NAS is anti-government or this. No, it is all about their views and what they represent.
Okay.
So, but
Mm.
by your own assessment as a contestant, what do you think that this government, Tinubu's government, is supposed to do for Nigerian students that they have not done? Of which, if you are assigned to this office, you will talk to them or you draw their attention to that particular place.
Uh, what I felt has been the problem of our inability to advance growth in educational sector is the government still has not identified the problem of it is not about structures. It is not about putting roads. You understand? These universities are not getting proper funding. There is no proper funding for universities in Nigeria. I'm telling you this. And because of the lack of proper funding, that is why it is posing a big threat to the learning process of our institutions. So government need to pay attention, adequate attention to the funding of education in Nigeria. I'll bring a reference of the UNESCO recommendation that declare government should provide 80%, 65% of budget allocation should go for education. Because if you have gotten that definition of tertiary education right, you have less healthcare workers, you have less people that fall sick, you have less insecurity. And that is why the UNESCO is saying dedicate more allocations of funds, commitments for the growth of your education, so as you can pay less to security, you can pay less to healthcare, you can pay less to infrastructural development. So it is just because the government is just putting in money, but they don't know where the money is actually going to without getting anything in return. We came to see the process of the coronavirus, where our universities cannot even produce a vaccine up to today. Nigeria has not developed a vaccine. We have malaria rampantly affecting millions of families every day. Till today, no institutions in Nigeria has come up with a research to say this is what I want the government to implement to address malaria eradication. I once had an opportunity to speak with a non-governmental organization, Nedu Work, where he give description of how we can fix and eradicate malaria if our universities are working fine. So lack of improper funding for education and government dedicating commitment to education is putting a big challenge to our educational sector. So I am of the opinion the government are ready. We must have to put more energy. If we are putting in 5 naira, we should ensure that that 5 naira will bring the results that value that 5 naira. And that is what we are lacking. Government spend money without caring of the end product. What is the result of the end? So this is a continuous process, it's a continuous problem because the government have not yet identified the real cause of the downfall of education in Nigeria. It might not be funded, it might be the funds government are putting in place are not going down. It might be there are still corrupt elements in the system that need to be flushed out. So we need to redefine the problems of our educational system. And that is why bringing people like us on board that already have this experience will give us opportunity to speak further and to tell government the appropriate step to take towards addressing this educational advancement.
Well, yeah, it's okay. The issue is that from what you're saying, even if
Yeah,
government is bringing money, there should be a follow up. It's not enough to
Yes,
there should be a
it's
follow
not enough to follow.
there should be a supervisory institution or a supervisory
Yes.
committee that try to
Mm.
um, check, try to put a watch on how this money is spent, the
Of
outcome,
course.
output of the
Of course.
money, and all those things.
Of course.
That's the
Yeah.
problem in Nigeria. Sometimes we don't
Yeah.
have supervisory institutions. If we have
Institutions.
supervisory institutions, like if you come to this country where I am, if money is brought
Yeah.
out to build a road, there are independent
Mm.
institutions. Their work is to check who is
Check.
complying with, yeah, which
And we're not complying.
complying with the policies on ground, who is
Mm.
complying with the demands of the contract, who is not.
Mm.
And they will write an independent report to the government, and government will take action. But in our place, they
Yeah.
just say, they are giving how many trillion or how many billion to education, Ministry of Education. Nobody is there to supervise how this money goes. And that is
Everybody just put hands and watch.
that's a problem. So,
Yeah.
and this is what I'm reminding Nigerian students. That this is the part of what Nigerian students should do. But the trouble is that the thing is affecting all of us, and that's why we
Of
are
course.
urging you today that you don't be like others. People should have a voice. People should talk in Nigeria. People should talk.
Of course.
So we are contributing our own by providing a platform, a voice where
Yes.
people can come and talk. So we need to be talking. We need to
Definitely.
consult. We need to consult. So, and let government know. We know these things, so, and these things are simple. Can't you,
Of
if it's
course.
not enough to put fund in the education sector,
Mm.
who is supervising how this money is spent?
It's spent.
So if you put billions of naira into a contract, who is
Mm.
saying this contract has the duration of 1 year? After 1
Why?
year, the contract is still hanging. Who is writing the
Mm.
report? Who is telling the company that is not in compliance to stop or to
To
seek
stop.
or who? Nobody.
Nobody.
This is
No check
because
and balance.
the system is corrupt. This is because even the giver is not giving exactly what was given to him.
What is
For
doing
the-
to him? Yeah.
Somebody told me that if you want me to approve this, I wrote a proposal and took to somebody. And he told me, if you want me to approve this thing, add my own,
Mm.
2 million.
To it.
The work has not
Yeah.
started. This man wants to collect 2 million. The work has not even started. He doesn't even know if I will be able to complete the contract. He's already demanding for money.
For money. So you can
Sometimes
imagine.
you see, before they get the contract, they have shared a lot of, almost half of the money. And that's
Of
why
course.
when the work is no more going, the people that should talk cannot talk because they have all collected.
Definitely.
This is the
Yeah.
truth. And that is why we're asking you today that by God's will and grace, if you come as a senior president of NAMS, you people should work with the president to bring government to consciousness that
So accountable.
to be accountable. People should know this is our money, and we should be able to know that this is the way it is spent.
Okay.
It's not a crime for the citizens to know how the money in their country is spent. It's not a crime.
Mm.
It's not a
Of
crime.
course.
So, and this is what you people should represent. So, that is my own view. And let me say, going on, as Senate President, how will you ensure representation and inclusivity for all Nigerian students, regardless of their institution, location, socio-economic background, and especially tribe and religious difference?
Well, I think I have a blueprint, and as part of my blueprint is I have dedicated time in my blueprint to go around institutions from time to time, not necessarily when there's a problem. Across the geopolitical zones, I have marked out institutions or states I will visit on a campus tour, to go on a campus tour to see the process of learning there without necessarily been a challenge. And in the Southwest, also in the Northeast, even if it's at least two institutions from different states, I visit. I say, okay, I want to see what is happening here, what is happening here. Through that channel, I create inclusivity and to carry everybody along. And also we also have a way of communication, which are the SUG president. Whenever there are anything, they report to me, the Senate president, because they are the senators. So and from there, I take it up. So in my blueprint, I have a column of campus tour to go around campuses and see the process of learning or the challenges embark upon.
Okay, so we talked about tribe as a very disturbing, tribalism as a very disturbing, and religious differences as a very disturbing factor in the growth of anything organizational in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So what is going to be your attitude? What is the strategy you would deploy to lessen the effect of this kind of thing among Nigerian students?
Well, you see, in the organization, one of those things this organization is for is that decorum of nationality. I have people from the south, I have people from Enugu. If in NANS we don't see religion as a factor, we see competence above anything. Competence comes first before your ethnicity, your religion, your complexion, and anything. Your capacity for that position will be the first thing that determines. And this is one thing. NANS still remain that organization that has not been affected with this religious ethnicity diversity, and that is why every position is zoned to a particular zone. The president is going to a different zone. The Senate president is going to. If it comes to your zone, look for capable people to come. So the zoning already address the religious differences. Every zone, the Christian will produce, the Muslim will produce, and even the traditional worshiper, if you come to that time, they will produce. So every zone has already been stipulated with the leadership. So it rotates, power rotates. So automatically, when you barely see someone, an Igbo man coming to the north to contest. It's very difficult. And it's very difficult for you to see an Hausa man going to the south to contest. It is very difficult. Despite education can take you anywhere. You have people that are Hausa that are studying in the southeast, and you have people that are Igbos that are studying in the northwest or northeast, like that. So the constitution is very strong that has addressed this lacuna.
Wow. What specific policies and programs will you implement to promote students' welfare, academic excellence, national development, and how will you measure their effectiveness?
Well, one of those things I will promote is I have put out, just like I told you in my blueprint, I have set a lot of programs that as soon as I come on board is implementation. Just like in the International Students Day, next day by this year, we'll be preparing for International Student Day, and I intend to use that opportunity to showcase the potentials of Nigerian students. It will be like what do I say? It will be like an exhibition where Nigerian students will display their talents across for people to see the potentials and talents that Nigerian students imbibe. These are one of the programs I intend to put on. People will bring out the finest of Nigerians, their projects, for the world to see what they have put in towards educational advancement. I also have the World Children's Day. Already there are programs that I have marked to see for children that will address the out-of-school children we have. And also I have a program I have drafted on food security. Whether you like it or not, food security is a problem to this country. And if we did not start producing what we eat with time, it will be a problem. So I have a plan to bring Nigerian students back to farm. Yes. I have this plan to engage Nigerian students to produce what they eat on campuses. So for about 2 or 3 campuses, I'll be running an agricultural program that will provide hectares of land to students, go and farm and bring the produce back to school for people to eat. So these are some of my programs and initiatives I want to bring in.
Wow, that's great. Especially, I am so excited with that of taking students back to the farm because I come
Yeah,
from Suka and the university is in my town, right in my town.
yeah,
We lived our lives in the university. Just
in the investment.
people live their life in their village square. We were in the
Mm,
university, so we lived and we grew up, born and bred in the university environment. So, and those days, I used to know university like UNN has where they call greenhouse. That place is a
greenhouse, yes.
big agricultural farm that
Yeah.
all kinds of things are being produced from there, all kinds of fruits, all kinds of a lot
Mm,
of things. They even go, the university even go to market and sell. People
of
even go
course.
to universities to buy food. But now, this time, all these things are no more there. You go there, it's just
No.
fallow ground. If you are going through
And
the greenhouse gates now from you, and the last
yes.
time it's a fallow ground, nothing is going on there.
Mm,
So I think
can you
this
imagine?
idea of bringing students back to agriculture and back to the farm is a very wonderful idea. If our people
Definitely.
embrace it, it's going to be something very productive. And I know what it is because that it is when they say mechanized agriculture and all those things, it's even the students
Mm,
that apply it. They are the ones that
of
can
course.
they are the ones that can access YouTube and Google and
Mm,
know how to apply some of those things that will help us grow. So I think that's a very strong point. Abubakar Lawan, well done. Jonathan Ukwe, Jude Gabriel, I greet all of you. Let me go to Instagram and see, acknowledge. Oh, Instagram, a lot of people. My like Joel, Ice Europe, Eddie Babe, Marcos Igwe Balomi, Aniego, Swizzer NG. I am Prince Richie, one Bakana China, Queen Brown 146, Soweto 700, Official Paul, Dimalo. I can't call all of you beautiful than the whole wide world. Yes, Young Wheezy, King Rocky, Serenity Jane. Thank you for following. RD Sifa, Mr. Deji, all of you, I can't mention all of you, are too many on Instagram watching. And for those of you on YouTube, you're welcome, and those on Facebook. Remember, we still have on the show Comrade Zakari Hashim CNS, former SUG president, former coordinator of Nigerian students. They not about 11 universities under you then or 10. So, and he has shown leadership across board when it comes to Nigerian students. And this time, he's going for the office of the Senior President of National Association of Nigerians. And today, we have him in the show. So, Comrade Zakari, moving on, I want to ask you, how will you balance the interest of various students groups, manage conflicts, and maintain unity among NANS members, while also ensuring accountability and transparency? Because of this thing we call faction, this faction. Sometimes there was a time I knew that they had like 4 presidents of NANS and 4 senior presidents of NANS. So, how will you address this issue? Oh, hold on.
One. Yeah, yeah. One, I'll make myself available for discussions, and I'll make myself accessible by all and sundry, all Nigerian students. Two, I'll be a listening leader, and I will ensure I carry everybody along. It will not just be a government for me, it will be an administration for people to bring their own ideas on board. Just like I have shared some of the blueprints I have. Other people might too have something to contribute. So I will give that. I will give that time also for people to also, or that avenue for people to reach me and share their problems and where we can come in. I'll always make my door available. And there is something, whenever you see in leadership, the followership must have confidence in the leadership. And one of the ideology, anytime I'm holding a public office, is my religion and tribe is hidden. Why? Because of my followership. So I will ensure I give everybody a fair hearing without considering this one is my faith, this one is my ethnicity. So that principle has been one of my key driving force. Once you deserve attention, I'll give you. Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
And I also have always been a mentor to others, bringing up other student union leaders. This will continue to be our passion. So as if we have served the organization well, we shouldn't be looking for people to serve it tomorrow. So it should also be a ground to nurture people upcoming too. Yeah.
Okay. When I watched Her Excellency, the Vice President of United States, Kamala Harris, when she spoke after Trump was declared president-elect of the just concluded election in the U.S., there's a key point she mentioned that touched me so much. She said, we are going to provide a good atmosphere, for easier and conducive transition. He said, naturally, this is not what we planned, but I must concede and I must congratulate Trump for the key thing in America is democracy, not her personal interest. The policies and the spirituality of the founding fathers of America, which is to sustain democratic process, that the process is more important than individual. Yes. So that's what she said. It touched me so much. So when I see people contesting election, especially young people like you, I will say, what if you win this election? How will you look at the person you contested with? And if you lose, how will you look at the person you contested election in both eyes, considering the kind of thing we are seeing in the global space? So how will you feel? And either by when you win or lose?
As a leader, you must, they say a good dancer must know when to leave the stage. So as a leader, you must put in these two things in mind. And that is why I told you from my genesis, from the foundation of my struggle for student unionism, I was defeated at a state election. But I went to a larger population, the larger union with 10,000 population, and I emerged victory there. So imagine I was defeated in a contest of not less than 2,000 members, and I was also declared winner in a contest of about 11,000 plus. So leadership comes from God. We must bear that in mind. Leaderships come from God, and for every destined human being, for every human being that has a faith, you should be able to know there are things you work for, but probably they are not best for you. So as a man, I have a creed. So accepting defeat will not be a problem. It is not a do or die affair. Either I win or I accept defeat. So if peradventure my contestant is sound ideological than me, has better blueprints than me, and Nigerian student felt he deserves to be there than me. Fine, I'll accept the pit and probably prepare for the future. So, but I'm very, I'm very courageous that victory is certain.
Yeah, you're optimistic.
Yeah, I'm optimistic that victory is certain.
Yeah. Thank you for coming to the show. I think we'll have 5 minutes. I don't know. We'll have 10 minutes to leave the show for now. It's a 1 hour
Thank you
show.
very much.
You have been wonderful. And um, I want you to use this opportunity and give a shout out to those great comrades of yours in Nigeria, that those who have passed through their tutelage and those you have tutored along this process.
Well, first, I want to first of all thank the stakeholders, most especially from my zone, the stakeholders from my zone and state that are giving me this support. Their support is one of the reasons I'm seeing confidence in the process, and it's one of the reasons I'm seeing this victory. So the likes of Prince Muhammad Sani Hassan, the likes of Comrade Alasino, the likes of Comrade Okasha, the likes of Comrade Bakari Mohammed, Comrade Charles Udi, Comrade Udi Pastor, Jonathan Limu, and the like of my brother, the former coordinator from Yobe State, Papa Hassan, and my very good friend and brother from Zone A, in person of Usman Babakankia, the past Secretary General of NANS, who has been with me since this process, and of course my campaign team that are on ground with me this time, the likes of Jonathan and others. I thank you guys for believing in me, and of course to the SCG president. I thank you guys for identifying me as a key factor and for the solidarity you stand by me. To all other people across the zone, I am grateful. And of course, to our very own host, the Chinedu Anichi TV, I am grateful for finding me worthy to share my blueprint with Nigerian students through this platform. And I have not put it in my platform, but even on my blueprint now, I will add it that I want Nigerian students to gain audience. I want this platform to gain the audience of Nigerian students. So I will add this to my blueprint as a platform that can give them voice, as a platform that can stand with them to air their grievances or their problems, and as a platform that can connect with the world. So I will try my possible best to build the audience, to build more on the audience of Chinedu Anichi TV. This I will add to my blueprint. And I'm very sure we have a very good population of students, and I'm very, very sure that I will boost the audience for Nigerian-based students to see, definitely.
Yeah, thank you for your promises. The issue about us, you are part of this. When we started,
Yeah,
people
of
never
course.
believed in us. When we
Yeah,
started, it looked as if it was a joke. People
of
like you,
course.
invited you, would speak. People would say, what are these people trying to do? And we say, we'll keep myself and my coordinator, um,
Mm,
the Northern Zone, Comrade Isakawa. So
mm.
they are very faithful people. Like he just told me his phone is bad. I want to tell you,
Yeah,
I'm just out now. Excuse me, let me show you something. Yeah, there are people you cannot joke with. He just told me I'm shipping this phone for him any moment from now.
wow,
You understand? So because
wow,
people that these are people that when people never believed in us, this phone is going to Sakawa any moment from now. So I brought it while I
wow.
was in the office so that I can go to DHL and sell it to him in Nigeria. So there are people you cannot joke with.
Definitely.
So when people never believed in us, you people were there. Now that you can host any kind of person, ministers, serving governors, senators, any kind of professionals of any kind of captains of industries come to our show, elites and what do you call celebrities of Okada. So, and I am happy that you still want. So we can really work together. We can establish coordinators in different universities.
Injustice, definitely.
We can create a program that we call Nigerian universities. We can create anything in this show as far as the voice of Nigerian students. We can create it. You know, that is for talking about universities, people reporting from different universities. This university there's no light, in this university there's no this. We can create anything out of it. So and that's why we're praying that God will give you victory so that we'll use your office and some of these things. This is the reason why we have this platform to give Africans voice. So thank you
value the platform.
Coming to the show, and I wish you luck. And
thank you very much,
especially Comrade Zakari, who is my coordinator. So I also
thank you also for the support of the phone.
Yes. No, that one is my person. I just brought it out so that you know that I'm not joking with you. And some people I can't joke. There was something I wanted to do in Lagos.
There is always a reward for hard work.
Yes, there's something I wanted to do in Lagos yesterday. This thing involves money. I need to connect with some people. People are bringing different proposals, demanding for money. This one charge 200. This one charge 200. I just remembered there was one of those my followers that do the same thing. I just chatted that my follower, and he was smart enough to get my phone at that point. He brought his own proposal to be 250, and others are bringing 200. But I was in position to direct the person who he should use or who he should pay. I just my follower. Because when we started, he was there when people were thinking we're going nowhere, you know. So that's how he got the job, and he has delivered. And today, thank God. So we keep moving, we keep progressing. The way you met the TV initially is not the way you're meeting it today. I also next time you'll be coming to the show, you'll be coming as the senior president of NAS, and as the senior of NAS, and I will be happy. But before we draw the curtain for the day, we just have 2 minutes to leave. What can you tell the world? What can you tell Nigerian students about Chinedu and TV?
Well, I just want to tell Nigerian students to believe in themselves, and consistency is key in everything you do. Chinedu and TV was able to come here where we are today because of consistency. That word consistency, it's a very bold word. Students should build onto. Don't just look at the stats, but if you have a destination, look ahead of the destination. So I am very proud of your consistency, our host, and of course the belief you have for the vision of this TV to come into reality. And I want to say, whenever there is anywhere we can come in through, do not hesitate to let us know. So just like what I say, I will see a program on how we can extend this thing to universities. Where universities can come together and build an audience base. I will definitely make necessary time for this. In short, I'll develop a blueprint for it.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much
for coming to the show. Thank you. We have today Comrade Zakari Hashim CNS for contesting for President of NAS. That's National Association, Senior President of NAS. Sorry, that's National Association of Nigerian Students. So if you are a student, you are a senator, like SUG presidents are automatic senators. You know, I was in NAS also. I was director of security. I was this. I'm a state of NAS up to now. So really,
that's great to know.
yeah. We use this opportunity during the time of Dan Onje, during the time of Tony Moye,
Wow.
Radical Brothers. That's when we were in NAS. So there
Oh,
was
that's great. And I just
answer.
met Tony Way. He's a senator. I met him not up to 2 weeks ago.
Yes,
Not up to 3 weeks ago at the National Assembly.
yes. Tony Moye.
Daniel Onje is still very around.
Yes. I think people like that,
Wow,
if
that's great.
like that Danonje and Tony Moye, I
Yeah.
want to have I have contact of Tony Moye, but he has not answered me. I've been testing him, but he has not answered me anyway. But I need things like this Danonje, all those kind of people. I want to bring
Yeah,
them to the show. Let's see, they can be
definitely.
younger ones, the Gen
And
Zs.
I think I'll definitely work on it. Definitely.
Okay. I
Yes,
would like him to be on this show so that they will share experience. People who saw the
of course.
Koja games, who saw the Koja
Hmm.
games, who saw, you know what I mean. So
Of course.
the Gen Z approach to NAS is slightly different from what it used to be.
Hmm. Yeah.
Sustaining intergenerational conversation is going to
Conversation.
impact seriously and
Hmm.
positively on the Gen Zs and their approach to the Alota spirit of NAS. So if we can get all those haters, Anselm Nebife, Comrade Patrick Afubera, Igwe Bagabo,
Hmm.
you know
You
now.
got it.
So all those guys now. So thank you for coming, my brother, and
Thank you. Thank
I
you
wish
very much.
next time we hope to see you as the senior
Definitely.
president of this show.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, and thank you
Thank you
again.
very much. I'm grateful. Thank you.
Yep.
Good to see you. Yeah.
Yeah, hello, my people. We just had our big brother, Comrade Zakari Hashim CNS. Comrade Zakari was this and that among students, and today is in this show. He has told us the experience, his blueprints, and the way he will go out there to represent Nigerian students and make sure that what Nigerian students deserve will come to them. So we pray for him to succeed while we open our hands for divinity to select leaders. God bless you. And remember, this is Chinedu Amici TV, your one and only celebrity CSO. In the next 1 hour, we'll be hosting another guest in this show, and we'll be hosting the guy that sang. They call him Assorted, the guy that sang "Kurunge Baby Kurunge, Kurunge Baby Kurunge." If you know that music, the artist that did it will be in this show in the next 1 hour. So get ready to click back to Chinedu Anichi TV on Instagram, Chinedu Anichi TV on YouTube, Chinedu Anichi TV on Facebook, all the way Chinedu Anichi TV. Levi Chinyere go let me thank some people. Martin Sola, how are you doing? Meaningful Reto, Kale Voyage, Victor White 2021, Akpere Marvelous, foodgame.us, Ugoja _SH. I can't mention all of you. Eddie Babe, Ice Europe, Man Like Joel, Eba Football, Jojo Banks Ray, S. Davido, my own person, Homeboy 77, and all of you. Thank you for watching. In the next 1 hour, we'll be back to this show with a very known artist, musical artist in Nigeria called Assorted, the man they know with the music called Boronge Baby. So if you want to Boronge, join us in the next 1 hour. God bless you. That's 8 p.m. Nigerian time, 1 p.m. Central American time, 2 p.m. Eastern American time, and 7 p.m. UK time. God bless you.